The use of pesticides. You may ask, what are pesticides? Pesticides are chemical substances used to kill or control pests that can damage crops, spread disease, or cause other problems for humans and animals. These pests can include insects, weeds, and rodents. The spike of pesticides began in the 1940s to 1960s. This time period was called the Green Revolution. This revolution introduced modern agriculture technologies like high-yield crops, chemical fertilizers, and synthetic pesticides. It was seen as a solution to global hunger, which prompted scientists and governments to use these pesticides to maximize food production and prevent crop failure. Pesticides have a great effect. They affect humans, such as farmers, agricultural workers, consumers, and children. They affect the environment by contaminating the soil and water. They non-target plants and wildlife, and the drift from spraying chemicals can get into the air. They affect animals such as birds, as they can be poisoned by eating contaminated insects, fish and aquatic life through runoff into rivers and lakes. They affect humans short-term and long-term. Some short-term effects are skin irritation and nausea. Some long-term effects are cancer and hormone disruption. Their effect on the environment includes air pollution, as pesticides can spread through wind and affect surrounding areas. Also, water pollution, as pesticides can seep into the groundwater or run off into rivers. Their effect on animals such as bees, and we can see this as their population is declining, as well as bioaccumulation, which deals with buildup in animal bodies and move up in the food chain. This is evident with DDT, a pesticide affecting birds like bald eagles. In the last slide, I talked about how we can see pollution being in the water system, and this is pesticide detection in water. A little video on it. The use of pesticide is a controversial topic that centers on the balance between increasing agriculture productivity and protecting human health and the environment. While they help farmers produce more crops and reduce food loss, they also pose serious health risks. Here's a case study done on the use of pesticides. It was a book titled Silent Spring, written in 1962 by Rachel Carson. She argued that pesticides were poisoning wildlife, contaminating water, and threatening human health. She exposed how pesticides like DDT were harming birds and entering the food chain. Her book raised public awareness in environmental and health consequences of pesticides for the first time. There are multiple categories of impacts on the use of pesticides, such as environmental, economic, social, and political. Some environmental impacts are pollinators like bees dying, waterways polluted, as rain and irrigation often wash pesticides into nearby rivers, lakes, and groundwater, and soil degradation, as pesticides can destroy earthworms, microbes, and fungi that maintain healthy, fertile soil. And lastly, biodiversity loss. Pesticides don't discriminate. Beneficial insects, birds, and small mammals are often unintentionally harmed. Some economic impacts are the boost agriculture output by preventing crops and increasing yields. Support of large industries, like in this image, Bayer, they profit significantly from pesticide production and sales, and the cost rise for farmers due to pest resistance and the need for stronger chemicals. The social impacts are farm workers, because they face health risks as they have prolonged and unprotected exposure to pesticides. Health inequalities grow as access to safe foods differ by class. And lastly, consumers begin to worry about pesticide resistance in food, which drives the demand for organic, pesticide-free, locally grown food. The political impacts are government regulating pesticide use, like the EPA, lawsuits, and they have helped push reforms, and lobbying by chemical companies, and they often delay bans on the harmful pesticide products. And lastly, international disputes rise when banned pesticides are exported into their country. The overall scale of the use of pesticides is a global scale. This is because pesticides are used worldwide in agriculture. The environmental impacts cross borders, the worldwide public health concerns over food and safety exposure, and there's international agreements and bans on the use of pesticides. However, pesticides still affect local, regional, and national scales. Locally, the health of farm workers, regionally, the ecosystem, and lastly, nationally, like policy decisions. The issue on the use of pesticides is important because it touches on global food security, environmental protection, and public health. With the growing world population, pesticides help meet the demand for food by increasing yields and protecting crops. However, the environment and health costs can be significant. Decisions made about pesticide use can affect international trade, farming practices, food prices, biodiversity, and the well-being of future generations. The world has responded in multiple ways to pesticide use. Firstly, they responded in government regulations. Agencies like the EPA in the US, they regularly assess pesticide safety and enforce use limits. Secondly, the use of international agreements. There are treaties like the Stockholm Convention, and they aim to reduce or eliminate the use of persistent organic pollutants. And lastly, the use of legal action. Lawsuits against major pesticide companies have pressured industries to move away from these harmful chemicals. Some solutions. The first possible solution is technological innovation. Precision agriculture, such as drones and sensors, can target pests more accurately, reducing chemical use, and GMO. These can help engineer to resist pests naturally, lowering pesticide demand. The second possible solution is economic incentives. These deal with subsidies and grants for farmers to adopt sustainable practices. And last and third solution is biopesticides. These are natural, eco-friendly alternatives made from bacteria, fungi, or plant extracts. Predictions. As global awareness of pesticide-related risks grow, I think that we will likely see stricter international regulations, greater investment in sustainable agriculture, and lastly, more consumer demand for organic products. My final opinion on this topic is while pesticides have played a crucial role in agriculture advancement, their unchecked activity poses serious threats. We should come up with a balanced approach that focuses on combining regulation, education, innovation, and sustainable alternatives. This is essential to ensure the safety of both human and environmental health. Here are my sources. Here are more sources and more sources.